Look, I would highly encourage people to educate themselves about
Thank you, Israel, for all those targets to go kill.
this if they haven't already. I'd encourage people to read a piece called A Clean Break, A New Strategy for Securing the Realm. I'm sure you're familiar with it, sir. It was written by Richard Pearl and David Wormser in 1996. And this was a letter from two people who both served in the George W. Bush administration, very influential neoconservatives. And they did not write this letter to Bill Clinton, who was the president at the time. They didn't write it to Bob Dole, who was the Republican nominee running for president at the time. This was written to Benjamin Netanyahu. And it was all about how regime change in Iraq will be in Israel's interest, because then you can break up this peace process that Yitzhak Rabin started down, and we won't have to do this anymore. You'll have security in the region. Benjamin Netanyahu coming in 2002, testifying before Congress as a regional expert, explaining how if you overthrow Saddam Hussein, there's going to be peace in the region. It will have this sweeping effect where it makes everything better. Aside from the fact that they all got it all wrong, and not just wrong, but like disastrously wrong, the biggest catastrophic disaster in modern American history level wrong. I just do not understand how you can square the circle of claiming to be America first and also claiming we must unconditionally support a country who is clearly trying to pressure us into anti-America first policies. Look, this is just a fact, okay? Every president of my lifetime, Trump might be an exception to this, I'm not sure, but everyone else wanted it.
Dave hadn't got to that point yet. He's not.
A two-state solution, including, believe it or not, George W. Bush. After 9/11, Colin Powell, who was the wisest member of the George W. Bush administration, I don't think anyone would argue against that, he still sold the war in Iraq, even though he didn't believe in it, so he'll have to talk to his maker about that. But he told George W. Bush right after 9/11, you got to do a two-state solution, and you got to do it now, for two reasons. Number one, you got record high approval ratings. This is the time to get it done. But more importantly, because he knew this is what drives so much of the terrorism problem that we have. It's not that Iran sees us as the same as Israel. It's that they recognize that we've been propping them up. We're the ones who shoots down the resolutions at the UN. We're the ones who funds them and arms them. Okay? And what happened? George W. Bush couldn't get it done. It was Tom DeLay. John Mearsheimer's done great reporting on this. It was Tom DeLay in the House who told him, you'll be a one-term president if you even try to do this, okay? Every American president has wanted a two-state solution. Again, maybe not Donald Trump, but the rest of them all did, and they couldn't get it done. All I'm saying is if you're America first, how can you...
Oh, I thought he was talking about just being a Zionist shithead, but because he did vote for Trump. So I was thinking he maybe was thinking that. I didn't know that. I misunderstood. Yeah, Donald Trump is just as bad as George Bush and all the rest. That's where we're at now. At this point, Dave doesn't know that, though. That's why I was a little confused.
Support the fact that we have a political system where our elected representatives get rebuked by a foreign country. That is not America first.
The reason he would have been a one-term president is because the American people would have rebelled, right? Not because Bibi Netanyahu would have come here and made sure that
No, I'm sorry if you're going to ask that. No, it's also because there's a giant, powerful lobby advocating on behalf of a foreign government who makes it their mission to ruin the lives of anybody who's critical of that foreign government. That's a part of it too. By the way, the evangelical Christians, that's also a big part of it.
So yes. The idea, can I just need to respond?
We got to get Dennis in here. Okay.
I'll yield.
All right.
Then I'll speak. I'll yield and then speak. Okay.
Well, but like the idea that some lobby is the reason that an idea has power in the United States is completely backwards. The lobby gets its power because it is representing where, like, the majority of Americans are at. A lobby on its own, you think the NRA...
You don't think it's shaping
You
it a little
think
bit?
that the NRA is the reason that people have guns in America? Really? You
No,
don't
the
think
NRA
that?
are a bunch of sellouts.
No,
Sorry, Jay.
No, but the idea, like, it's a very good parallel.
Americans have overwhelmingly supported Israel. If there was no AIPAC, they still would have supported Israel.
Let's take a poll, motherfucker. I guarantee you that poll ain't gonna go the way you like. Not today.
So then why do we need an AIPAC?
Oh, because
Why do we need an NRA?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't.
All right, fine. So
I don't think we need AIPAC either. Israel would be just fine without it because the American people have its back.
Let's find out.
Whether we need it or not is not the question. The question is, why do they exist, given the fact, which is fair, why do they exist? Because people lobby politicians on behalf of what many Americans support. Americans to this day and every poll still support Israel, as it happens. So the arguments that have been offered here It really is a different planet. Just for the record, this may come as a shock to the two of you at least, perhaps many listening. And I would put my hand on a Bible, I would take a lie detector test.
Catch on fire.
Obviously, there's no way I could prove this. When I remember sitting at the edge of my bed watching this, and I never watched TV. I watched Arafat and Rabin shake hands, and I had tears in my eyes. That is how badly I wanted peace. I supported a two-state solution nearly all of my life, certainly since the Six-Day War when I was a college kid. I have always supported it. I no longer support it, just like nearly every peace activist in Israel no longer supports it. And we don't support it thanks to Hamas and thanks to the PLO, because they have made it clear.
Oh, so some terrorists did some things. And so now you don't think that the people who aren't terrorists need peace, right? Your convictions changed because some other bad people did some things. Is that what you're saying? Because you just said that all the people over there support Israel. So if they're supporting you, why would you not want them to have a peaceful solution? How would that change you? It's almost like you're lying.
If Israel leaves the West Bank, they will get another genocidal, you want to use the term, a genocidal terror group of Nazi-like Hamas people running it. Why have there not been elections? Why is the PLO not allowed elections for, 16 years? Because they're afraid Hamas will win.
Agreed. I agree. I just want to, because I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, what a tragedy that peace deal didn't work out. And I totally take you at your word at that. I was just wondering if either of you guys would respond to the point that I made before, that you just kind of brought up the Olympic atrocity after that.
Just hold on,
but it's just so if Hamas is so horrible, and I know you guys would both say Iran finances Hamas, and so they're evil for that. What about the government of Israel doing it? Do we have anything to say about that?
Right. So when I'll tell you. I'll give you an answer. The United States.
Israel admitted to propping up Hamas. They've already admitted it. So why is it bad when Iran supports them, but not when Israel does it? It's just like everything else. It's because Israel can do no wrong.
States supported the second greatest mass murderer in history after Mao, Stalin, in order to defeat Hitler. It is very common to support scum to defeat bigger scum.
So who's the bigger scum than Hamas?
The bigger scum was those who wanted to destroy Israel.
Okay.
But isn't that Hamas?
You're right, so it's both.
So that invalidates your argument. No, it doesn't anyway. Okay. You just have no argument. Who's the bigger scum? Who's worse than the Nazis?
Please.
You're right. No, other Nazis.
Okay.
You're right, they're equivalent. I don't understand. Why is that? Why is that?
That's not an answer. I'm sorry.
Needs to respond. She's been trying to respond, and then we have to bring it back to the Iran question too.
I have two main responses to that. I think it's a really important point. I don't disagree that it was a disastrous, in hindsight, disastrous. At the time, I thought it was disastrous because, as you say, it's not just, it wasn't that Netanyahu was giving Israeli taxpayer funds to Hamas, but he was facilitating the transfer of cash from Qatar. Okay, so let's just be very
sent the head of Mossad to Qatar to make sure the cash came back in, specifically for the reasons of keeping Hamas in power, so he didn't have to give them a.
Wouldn't it be really nice if we didn't have to know all this shit? We didn't have to look into all this and be able to name all this shit like they're doing in this debate. If we just cut the cord and let Israel fend for itself and cut it all off, I don't think we would have to do all this. What? Why? It's so insane.
But it's not that he is giving them the money, right? It's not coming from Israel. I just want to be clear. There are a couple things I want to point out about that. The first is he didn't do that because he thought Hamas was capable of October 7th. He did that because he thought they had no power, that they had no real ability.
He thought he could control the height of the flame, were his words.
Just hold on, Dave, please.
Yes, he thought that they were less of a threat to Israelis than the potential of a Palestinian state led by Abu Mazen. And as a result, he humiliated routinely Abu Mazen, who was represented the non.
Oh well, his bad then. Now we got to go blow up all the kids. He fucked up then. How are you? Why are you punishing the people that live there? You propped them up. Why are you punishing the people who had nothing to do with that?
Violent camp. That it was a criminal at the time, and in hindsight, even more so. But to say that he was propping up the people who then would do October 7th, I don't think that is fair. Not because I
didn't say that. Yeah. Sorry.
It was a different Hamas. Maybe it was hummus. That's what it was. That's why we're confused. It's Hamas. Hamas did that.
Because he was doing it out of a complete misunderstanding about what they were capable of. And the second point that I would make about that is you left out something very important in your narrative of how things went from like the beautiful Israel that like was coalescing around Rabin to the like horrible Israel in which Bibi Netanyahu was able to cobble together with much difficulty, by the way, the ruling coalition that he has now that I'm sure we would all agree is not the one we would like to see in power. Not that we're stakeholders or voters there, but you left out the second intifada, which is extremely important. 1,000 Israelis, 700 of them civilians, murdered, going to school on the bus, children murdered, blown to pieces. That was the equivalent of 50,000 Americans dying over the course of 4 years. That changes a nation. That is the reason that the Likud vision was able to get to a place where not a ruling majority, but was able to come.
Why don't you think that second intifada happened?
See, if they were in this current time period, we could always say, hey, Israel got us to blow up some all-girls school to get them back. So now we're even.
During the Oslo Accords,
we're
and it
getting
wasn't
past-
until Yitzhak Rabin
we're
was
getting past a
assassinated
little
by
bit
a
of
right-wing
the-
Israeli.
I just think that this disrupts your clean narrative of Bibi Netanyahu
doesn't.
being the person who propelled, who enabled October 7th to happen as some sort
I think
of.
that point's been made, so Cenk, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I haven't spoken since we started the Iran part,
That's
so I have
right.
about 12 things to respond to. So I like that Dennis acknowledged that Netanyahu and Israel did prop up Hamas. So there you go. Now
I was kind of expecting them to lie about that too.
we know.
Truth.
Yeah.
But she gave the answer. He did not know what monsters he was supporting.
Oh, he didn't know who Hamas was?
He had no idea.
Come on. Okay, and it's because he wants
They were choir boys before that.
a permanent occupation. And I'm glad that Dennis just acknowledged he also wants a permanent occupation.
No, I don't. I'm not for two states now. I
So
pray
what's
for
his
two
answer
states
then?
eventually.
Eventually.
Okay, yes,
So,
but not
57
now,
more
not
years,
now. It will
75
be-
more years,
it will be-
100 more years.
No.
How long should they be your servants?
As soon as Hamas...
Your prisoners. How long would you like to keep the
They're
prisoners?
not prisoners. As soon as Hamas...
They're literally prisoners.
As soon as Hamas gives up,
No,
surrenders...
because that's his position. He just said he doesn't want it.
When were we prepared to make peace with Germany? When the Nazis came out of power. If the Nazi-like Palestinians are out of power, I would have peace.
So once Hamas comes out of power, the Israeli government propped up so they could be in power. Once they're all gone, so is it up to them to go fucking do this now? Should they start rooting them out and murdering these dangerous terrorists that the Israeli government set up to run them, to govern them? That seems weird.
Peace the next day.
Yeah.
But remember, it's not Bibi Netanyahu's fault because he didn't know they were bad fellas before he let them be in charge of the whole place.
Okay, that's all right. So he says, okay, an indefinite occupation where we will keep the Palestinians under our thumb and our boot, and until they know their role, then maybe we'll consider freeing them. But until then, they will have to serve us. Okay, very,
Someday.
Christian of you or whatever it is that people say these days. Okay, so speaking of Christians, there's a giant Christian Zionist movement here, and they are also part of the reason why the polling turned out okay for Israel throughout a lot of our history. But by the way, they are now greatly dwindled, and that is why the polling for Israel in America is not as good anymore. And by the way, the fact that Israel has made Netanyahu has made a deal with the devil, with those Christian Zionists, is abhorrent, because if you push them on what they plan to do, they said, oh yeah, we love Israel, because then Jesus is going to come back after
They never
Israel.
say that. I know
They
them, but I-
definitely say
they
it. They've said
never
it
say that.
1,000 times.
They're saying it a lot now. Trump's spiritual advisor is wanting this. Yeah, the one that talks in tongues, the weirdo. Yeah, trust me, this is gonna get scary.
Okay,
And then he's going to murder all the Jews.
I'm a Jew,
Congratulations
and I'm
with
telling
doing
you,
a devil.
he doesn't know what he's
Deal
talking
with the
about.
devil, okay?
Okay.
So, okay, all right.
I
Guys,
have-
come on now.
All right, fine.
Okay, so, and AIPAC, look, Batya, you just said that Israel's helping us because they helped the military-industrial complex, and they have lobbyists, just like everybody else, these lovely lobbyists. Okay, I don't think you realize how unpopular those comments are. So, yes, AIPAC is definitely lobbyists. Along with the Christian Zionists, they definitely influence politicians. The reason Tom DeLay said you'll be a one-term congressman is because he said the Christian Zionists will turn on you, and the evangelical base will turn on you. And AIPAC will turn on you. AIPAC's about to spend...
You got it right the first time.
No, they're both.
But don't those voters
Okay,
have
so
a right
hold,
to vote for
guys.
Go, continue.
Okay,
Continue, Cenk.
so if you guys are saying that the $100 million that AIPAC is promising to spend in the next election is not relevant to the politicians, that these politicians are angels, They would never consider millions of dollars given to them in bribes, I mean campaign contributions. And that actually determines almost 95% of elections, not the AIPAC money, but lobbyist money overall. That they don't take that into account because Joe Biden's an angel. He took $11.2 million from AIPAC, but that didn't affect him at all. He's the #1 donor that got money from AIPAC in United States Senate history. Who's the #1 donor for Speaker Johnson? AIPAC. But you guys say no. Ted Cruz, AIPAC. No. Those beautiful angels would never be affected by the bribes, I mean campaign contributions that.
Yes, people of that religion and nationality, the Israeli people, they're really known for being very generous with their money.
AIPAC is giving them. And by the way, it is not just AIPAC. Guys, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, they love this war. Are you kidding me? A giant war in the Middle East, they're going to make so much money. You're talking about the oil companies are going to make billions, maybe trillions from this. All of those different lobbyists are bribing both the Republicans and the Democrats. So there is massive money that is going into this potential war. Now, this war, we've seen this movie before. It was the Iraq war. And yes, morons, warmongers like Netanyahu said, oh, we're going to be greeted as liberators. How'd that turn out for us? Iran is 4 times the size of Iraq. I am not going into Iran. I will do a massive rebellion inside America, and I bet I get a ton of right-wingers and a ton of left-wingers, and there's not a single American troop that's going to go into the Middle East to die for Netanyahu. Not one.
Uh-oh. Chink got one wrong, I guess.
You try to send one of our guys into the Middle East. We're going to stop paying taxes. It'll be a massive tax rebellion.
You know what?
I'm not going to give
I think we just stop right now, man.
Dave,
Let's not even wait for this war.
Dennis, I think to return to the Iran question, you can respond to them that as well, but make the case for why the U.S. military should defend Israel against Iran as well.
I did not,
in some of your comments.
You didn't say the U.S. military. You said
Israel,
whether America should support. I did not suggest.
Fair enough.
Israel
I said U.S. support.
Israel
You're
has
right.
made it clear all of its existence. It doesn't want one American soldier to die in Israel or to fight in Israel. Okay, I just want to make that
just
clear.
The money and the jets.
That's right.
But they sure do send them over there for a chance for them to die, don't they? You know what? If they don't go, I bet they won't die over there.
Right, that is correct. Just the money and the jets. That is right. Okay. So if you feel that supporting Israel is immoral, fine. That's the clarity that I aim for.
Oh, it's definitely immoral.
Yeah, it's definitely
They're
immoral.
imprisoning 5 million Palestinians.
That's right. I see. Okay.
They're oppressors.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
They're not imprisoned. They are occupied. They are not imprisoned. Okay?
If you can cut off the water, the food, and electricity, what is that?
The rape of the word.
We couldn't even do that to prisoners in America.
He let you talk.
Not barely. Go ahead.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
The left has mangled language. I say raped, and people get angry. Well, aren't you raping the word rape? No, look up rape in the dictionary. There were 2 definitions, like the rape of the rainforest is not a sexual act. They have raped the word genocide. They have raped the word racism. They have raped all of these words that actually once meant something. And that's what is being done now. This is not genocide that Israel is engaged in. The number of Palestinians has increased by 5-fold since Israel was created. If that's a genocide, we should all suffer from such a genocide.
Did their population go up over 70 years? Really? Or 56 years, 57 years, whatever? Did it go up? Didn't it go up everywhere? Except now that now that the population's dropping, but up until that point, wasn't it going up everywhere pretty much?
And have such growth of our populations. As regards Iran, so this is a legitimate question. Is it in the United States' interest, purely as Americans, that Iran thrive or that there be a regime change? Let's say we can't do a regime. I understand that. I'm asking in theory, what would be more pro-American? A pro-American Iran, which is a very powerful country and a particularly intelligent.
We're going to bomb them till they love us, right? Is that the plan here? We're just going to keep bombing them till they love us? Like, I don't think you're going to make them love you by bombing them more. That's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard from somebody who claims to be an intellectual. Are you fucking serious?
People. And what would be better? Having these vile theocrats from the Middle Ages who kill women and arrest women who aren't properly dressed in public. This is what you guys want us to say it doesn't matter? We left Afghanistan, which.
So is this a war for feminism? Is that what you're telling me? I don't care what they do to their women. That's not our problem. We don't want to be there because we don't want to finance it. It's not our issue. Like they have their issues and we have ours. We shouldn't be paying to do anything over there.
I assume you guys were supporting that we should leave Afghanistan. I did not support leaving Afghanistan.
Of course not.
Because I knew the hellhole that the Taliban would create, and I don't know why America first.
So you hear his plan right here to just occupy all of these countries forever because they're terrible people. So we just stay there and we just keep a presence there and like spend trillions and trillions of dollars just having bases in every fucking country where they have bad people, just bad people who don't support your feminism that you're wanting to kill people over.
First means it's okay if people who want to destroy us take over a country. I don't understand why that's America first. And I have one other comment on America first. I wrote a copy.
Because they can want all they want. They can't even reach us with a missile. Like, I don't think they think they're going to take us over. I think they're trying to get us back for fucking supporting Israel and all the evil shit they do to them. This is so fucking dumb.
I'm on this, and I stand by this. This is really important morally. I am America.
Is he claiming that they flew those planes into our towers thinking that was going to somehow make this country become their country? They don't think they're going to take us over. I don't think that's in their head.
First, my life is a perfect example of a lifetime given to defending America and American values. But I am never and will never be America only. There are higher values than just your country. My country is first.
He'll always be America and Israel and no one else.
But it is not the only moral question in my life.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Dave, go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, look, I think it's kind of look, if you're just saying, hey, wouldn't it be great if like the repressive Iranian regime was gone and then like a regime that came and gave liberty to their people, yeah, sure, that'd be great. That I don't think is necessarily a relevant question. I also don't know who would disagree with you on that. I'm sure there are some people. I'm certainly not one of them. The fact is that
Hamas would disagree with me.
Right. I'm not one of them.
Okay,
so
you're sort of defending, but you're not one of them.
I'm not even kind of defending Hamas, but whatever. I'm actually the only one. I'm criticizing Israel for propping them up. But anyway, so yes, that would be great. The point is that people who supported the war in Iraq, like Benjamin Netanyahu, like I'm sure you did, sir.
No,
right?
I didn't.
You didn't?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm wrong. I apologize for that.
Let me just say very quickly.
That's fair. I shouldn't have said that then.
No, that's fair. No, you don't have to apologize. It's very understandable that you would assume that I did. But there was proof. I was on hardball with Chris Matthews, and he was shocked when I told him that I am not supporting us going into Iraq.
Okay, so I give you a lot of credit for that then.
So it's recorded.
Did he sexually harass you?
Let me just say, no, he did not. I'm just kidding. And I felt bad about it. But I will say, though, that once we were there, I did believe that we had to prevail.
Okay.
And stay forever, like you just said. You didn't even want to leave whenever they finally did leave, 20 years later.
Fine, fair enough. So let me say, I'll amend that to say, all of the neoconservatives, Benjamin Netanyahu, the people who supported us going into the war in Iraq, well, what was the effect of that? We handed the country essentially over to Iran. And all of this wisdom, which was so ridiculous, so you had Saddam Hussein, a longtime enemy of Iran. They fought a brutal war together where 500,000 people on each side died. By the way, America backed Saddam Hussein while he was doing the most vicious things that he had ever done. He was a Sunni minority oppressing a Shiite majority. And their scheme was, if we overthrow this guy, this will put pressure on Iran to be more democratic. And all that happened was it gave more regional influence to Iran. And then, actually, the attempted regime change in Syria that Obama failed on for multiple reasons, I think actually kind of similarly to what you guys were talking about, he was sending these weapons into the anti-Assad rebels. They saw, as John Kerry admitted, the rise of ISIS. Obama called them JV. I think it's very similar to the way Benjamin Netanyahu looked at Hamas. I can control the height of the flame. And then they invaded Iraq, and he was like, hey, you guys weren't supposed to do that part, right? But what happened, what was the effect of that, was that the Syrians were more reliant on Iran than ever before. What was the effect on the Saudi-U.S. war in Yemen? That the Houthis became more reliant on Iran than ever before. So yes, we would all like this magical scenario where Iran becomes a free country, but in reality, the policies that Israel, as well as most of the neoconservatives in this country have pushed, have been to the opposite effect, has only made Iran more powerful and more influential in the region.
Go ahead, Bob.